Right now, there are billions of passwords stored across the internet. Your email, your bank, your social media, everything is protected by them. But here's the question most people never ask. Where do those passwords actually go? Are they sitting in a giant list somewhere? Can employees see them? What really happens if a hacker breaks in? Because the truth is, if passwords were stored the way most people think, the internet would be complete chaos. Let's break it down. When you create an account and type in a password, it feels simple. You choose something memorable, hit sign up, and move on. But behind the scenes, something very important happens instantly. The website does not store your password. Instead, it sends your password through something called a hashing function. Think of hashing like a superpowered blender. You throw in your password and it spits out a completely scrambled string of characters. For example, a password like mypassword123 might turn into a long, random string of letters and numbers. And here's the important part. No matter how hard you try, you cannot turn that scrambled output back into the original password. That's what makes hashing so powerful. It's a one-way transformation. Now you might be thinking, if the website doesn't store my password, how does it know it's me when I log in? Here's how. When you log in, the same process happens again. You type your password, the website hashes it, and then compares the result to what's stored in its database. If the hashes match, you're in. If they don't, access denied. The system never needs to know your actual password. It only checks whether your input produces the same result. It's like having a secret stamp. The system doesn't care what you used to make the stamp, only that it matches the original. But here's where things get really interesting. What if two people use the exact same password? Wouldn't their hashes be identical? Yes, they would. And that creates a problem. Because hackers have huge databases of common passwords and their matching hashes. If they steal a website's database, they can compare the stolen hashes to their lists and quickly figure out who used a weak password. That's where something called a salt comes in. A salt is a unique, random string of data added to your password before it gets hashed. So instead of hashing just password 123, the system might hash something like password 123 plus some random characters. Now, even if two people use the same password, their final hashes will look completely different because they each have a unique salt. This makes those hacker databases of common hashes far less useful. But modern websites don't stop there. They also use something called slow hashing algorithms. Now, that might sound like a bad thing, but it's actually a very smart security feature. These algorithms are designed to take a tiny bit of time to process each password. For a normal user logging in, this delay is barely noticeable, maybe a fraction of a second. But for a hacker trying to guess millions of passwords per second, it becomes a huge obstacle. It slows them down massively, making large-scale attacks much harder and more expensive to carry out. Now, here's something really important to know. If a website ever emails you your password, that's a major red flag. It means they are storing your password in plain text, which is extremely unsafe. Secure systems never store your real password, and they can't send it back to you. That's why you always have to reset your password instead of being reminded what it is. So what happens if a company gets hacked? Hackers don't usually steal your actual passwords. They steal the database of hashed and salted passwords. And without the original password, those hashes are very difficult to crack, especially if strong security practices like salting and slow hashing are used. However, weak passwords are still a problem. If your password is something simple like password, it can still be guessed very quickly, even with these protections. That's why using strong, unique passwords for every site is so important. And this is where password managers come in. A password manager can generate long, random passwords for every account and store them securely, so you don't have to remember them all. This means even if one site gets hacked, your other accounts stay safe because they all use different complex passwords. So the next time you type in your password, remember this. A good website never actually knows your password. It only knows the proof that you typed the right one. And that simple idea is what keeps your account safe every single day. Because in a world full of hackers, the smartest systems don't protect your password by hiding it. They protect it by never storing it in the first place. Thanks for watching, and if you found this useful, be sure to subscribe for more.